You can draw Tom Nook from Animal Crossing. Let's draw Tom Nook from Animal Crossing in Procreate. And in this video, we will only be using the brushes that are already in the app. And even if you don't know this character, it still looks super cute, right? And the great thing is that in this video, in this tutorial, you will be learning by doing. This is the perfect way to learn all about the tools in Procreate. So be sure to watch this video tutorial till the end and then share your work on Instagram. Be sure to tag me in the image so I will be able to find your work, and perhaps you will see your artwork in the next You Can Draw This video. Alright, let's get started. First of all, our canvas. It is 2500 by 2500 pixels. And I have made a color palette. You can find it through the link in the description. First, let's give a color to our background. I'll just click background color and pick this light blue for a background color for our Tom Nook. Next thing we'll do is turn on a drawing guide. We'll go to the wrench, then turn on drawing guide, then select edit drawing guide, and we will select symmetry. And then click done. First we'll make the basic shape of Tom's face, of his head. And to do that I would like to turn off the drawing assist for now. So click the layer and turn off drawing assist. And we will use the monoline brush, which you can find under calligraphy. And for the color we will use this third color in the color palette. I will set the brush size to 30% and the opacity is at 100%. And now we will make an oval. And if you hold your pen in place, it'll snap to a perfect oval. Now go to Edit Shape and drag those handles to that middle line. A bit like that. And now you can fill the shape by dragging in the color. Now let's go to the Move tool, that's that arrow right here, and make sure that that this oval is aligned with that center line. Now that looks fine. And now we can turn on Drawing Assist here. So just click the layer and turn on Drawing Assist. Next thing we'll do is go to the magic wand and select Liquify. And now we can adjust the shape of his head a little bit. Let's turn up the size of the brush to about 80%. And let's squish the sides a little bit. And we want to straighten that underside. And you can just stretch and push until you get the right shape for its head. You can adjust the size of your brush. You can make it a bit smaller if you want to make smaller adjustments. Let's go for a shape like this. You can make it a little bit bigger by going to that arrow tool, to that Move tool. And you can just make it a little bit bigger. Next thing we'll do is add 2 ears and a neck. We'll do that on a layer below our head layer. So click the plus to make a new layer. Now drag this one underneath the head layer. Click the layer and be sure to select Drawing Assist. So now the Symmetry tool is active for this layer as well. And let's start by drawing an ear. And you can see that the same ear is showing up on the left side. And make sure that you close the shape of the ear before you drag the color in to fill it. And now for the neck. We'll make a little triangle here And again, make sure that you close that shape before dragging in the color. Let's give him some clothes too. Now let's draw his shirt. We'll do that on a layer above that neck and ear layer. So click the plus, and again, make sure you turn on Drawing Assist to turn on that symmetry tool. Let's give him a shirt. We'll do that on a layer below the neck layer. So again, I've clicked the plus and then drag that layer underneath that neck and ear layer. And make sure you turn on Drawing Assist again. And we'll pick this middle shirt color. Now let's start a bit on the left of that neck and go down like that. And make sure that you close the shape behind that neck before you drag in the color. Below this layer, we will make the sleeves. So again, click the plus for a new layer and drag it underneath the shirt and turn on Drawing Assist again. For this one, I'll pick the darker color. And we'll start at the same point and make a sleeve like this. Again, be sure to close the shape. You can adjust it a little bit if you want to make it a bit more smooth. Now for the collar, we will go to a layer above the neck and ear layer. So first click that layer with the neck and the ears. Click the plus to make a new layer, and again, don't forget to turn on Drawing Assist. And for this one, we will pick the lightest color in the color palette. And let's draw that color. First, I'll go down like that to the center. And then draw in that color. Now we'll move to the eye area. We will select that head layer and make a new layer on top by clicking the plus. And don't turn on Drawing Assist yet. Just pick this dark brown color right here. And we will make an oval again. Just start about here. Hold your pen in place and then select Edit Shape to move the handles around, and make sure that these are at the center line. Now we can fill the shape by dragging in the color, and then again, let's turn on Drawing Assist. And we can go to the magic wand again and use Liquify to move and push and pull this face area, this eye area around. So let's make the brush a little bit bigger to 80%. And let's just push and pull. And I'll make it a bit smaller, like 60%, to push in that middle part. Next, let's give this guy 2 eyes. We'll make a new layer again by clicking the plus, and we will turn on Drawing Assist again. And for the eyes, we will just pick a white, a pure white. You can do that by double tapping in this circle to select pure white. We will still be using the monoline brush, and we will make an oval for the eye. Hold your pen in place again, and you can use Edit Shape to adjust that shape of the eye. I think this is nice. And drag in that white to fill it. He looks kind of spooky right now. Let's give him an iris and eyelids. We'll do that again on a new layer, so we'll click the plus, and we will clip this new layer to these white eyeballs. So click that layer and select clipping mask. Now whatever we paint or draw on this layer 8 will only show up on these two white eyeballs. We'll grab our light brown color and do be sure to select Drawing Assist to turn on symmetry. And I will make a diagonal line for the eyelids. And you can hold your pen in place to snap to a perfect straight line. And then do be sure to close your shape and drag in your color to make these eyelids. Next we'll want to make the iris or pupil, not really sure what it is, but it is blue. Let's put that underneath those eyelids. So we will select the white eyeballs and make a new layer, and it is automatically clipped to those eyeballs. Now we just want to select Drawing Assist to turn on symmetry. And let's pick this bright blue color. And again, we will make an oval. Hold your pen in place. And you can use Edit Shape again to move it around and adjust the shape a little bit until you are happy. And then you can just drag in the color. If you are having trouble filling a shape, perhaps it fills your entire screen, or maybe it is leaving a white little line, a white little gap, then do be sure to hold your pen in place, and here you can adjust the threshold by sliding to the left and to the right. You can see that if you slide the threshold all the way to the right, it'll fill that entire shape. So if you're having trouble filling, then that might be the issue and the way to fix it. I think little Tom Nook would like it if we would give him 2 arms. So let's do that now. Let's go all the way down. We will have to make a new layer underneath these sleeves. So first we'll select the sleeves, click plus for a new layer and drag this one underneath those sleeves. And again, click the layer and use Drawing Assist. And we'll select the brown and let's draw a little arm. That's better. Now let's move to the ears. Let's click the layer with the neck and the ears and make a new layer on top of this one. And again, you might have guessed it, we will turn on Drawing Assist to turn on that symmetry tool. And now we will pick this light pink color. Now let's draw an oval shape again to make that pink of the ear. Again, be sure to close your shape. And if you want to adjust this shape a little bit, then again, you can just use the liquify tool under adjustments and just move it around a little bit until it looks the way you want it to look. Before we are going to add highlights and shadows, let's also give him a little nose. We can put that above the head layer. So let's click that layer 1 first and then click plus for a new layer, and we will select that dark brown. We still have our monoline brush and it is still at 30%. And let's just give him a tiny little nose. You don't really have to turn on Drawing Assist here. Drag in the color. Just a little cute nose. Now that all of the features are in place, we can start adding shadows and highlights to our character. Let's start with the neck and the ears. We will go to that layer with the neck and the ears, click it, and select Alpha Lock. Now, whatever we paint will only show up on the pixels that are already on this layer, so the ears and the neck. To add shadow, we will go to the spray paint brushes and use the medium nozzle. And we already have the correct color, we'll use that dark brown. And the brush size is set to 22%, and the opacity is at 80%. Now let's just go over this area underneath his face to add a little shadow. And for the ears, we will go over that top area of the ears to make it a bit darker. And let's also grab this really dark brown, make our brush a bit smaller, let's say 10%. I'll zoom in just a little bit and we'll go over that edge just above that pink area to give it some more depth, like that. Next, let's go to the arms. We can find it right down here, and again use Alpha Lock and that dark brown color. We'll make our brush a bit bigger again, 20%, and just go over that edge near that sleeve. Next, let's work on the shirt. First, let's go to that body of the shirt. Again, use Alpha Lock, and first we'll add a little bit of that darker color. I want to turn off Drawing Assist. So now symmetry is turned off for this layer. I'm making my brush size to 30%, and I want to add some shadow on the left side of his shirt. So I'll darken this area just a little bit, and I want to add a little shadow underneath that collar. So I'll make the brush smaller for that. I'll go to 10%, and I'll go along that edge to add a little shadow there. Next, we'll go to the S-shaped ribbon, the selection tool, and use freehand. And we'll make a little selection of that overlapping part in his shirt. A bit like that. Make the selection by clicking that little dot. And now if we use our brush, whatever we paint will only show up inside that selection. So we can go over this little edge to make that shadow. Now let's go to the sleeves. We have that on layer 4. And again, use Alpha Lock, so whatever we paint will only show up on the pixels that are already there. And we'll grab that lighter shirt color. Now let's go to about 26%, and let's lighten up the sleeves a little bit. And when we turn off Drawing Assist for this layer, so symmetry will be turned off, we can make that left side a little bit darker. So we'll switch back to that darker color and add a little bit of shadow there. We can also add a little bit of shadow to that color. So go to that layer 5 here, click Alpha Lock, and then we'll grab that medium shirt color and just add a little bit of shadow right underneath his face. For our next step, I want to work on that face area right here. I want to make that edge a little bit more fuzzy. So I'll grab that dark brown. Let's make our brush 4%. And I'll zoom in and let's make this edge more fuzzy. And if you're wondering, I actually do play Animal Crossing. I really enjoy the island life, the island lifestyle. I think it's a great way to relax. I really like playing video games actually. So if you are playing Animal Crossing as well, then you can come and visit me on my island. I will leave a dodo code in my Insta stories every once in a while when I'm playing. So if you wanna come and visit me, send me a postcard, then just check out my Instagram account and check out my Insta stories every once in a while. I'm still a beginner though. I haven't been playing it for a very long time yet. So the other day I got stung by wasps. That looked awful. So if you have any gaming tips for me, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Or maybe, you know, other games that I should definitely be playing. Just let me know. Oh, there's a bit of a wobble here at the top. Let's fix that. That's better. Now let's add some light and shadow to his face. We'll go to that face layer right here and again use alpha lock so we can only paint on the pixels that are already there. And I'll make the brush bigger again. Let's say 27%, but you can play around with the size of your brush. I'll be using that darker brown color. This one, that third color. Let's turn off drawing assist first. So we will have turned off symmetry now. And let's add some shadow on that left side of the face. Because I'm imagining that the light is coming from here. So we'll have lighter parts there, and on the left side we will have more shadow. Also a bit here. And now let's grab that lighter color. Let's also add a little bit of shadow here. Now let's grab that really dark color to make that snout. Let's make the brush a bit smaller, let's say 13%. Just making a fuzzy circle around that nose. And I'll grab a lighter color, this second color in the color palette, to add some light touches. I'll make the brush a bit smaller, 7%, and I want to go around the edges a bit, like here, on the top side here. And even, I'm gonna go a bit bigger, 10%, even here on that underside, because that shirt will be reflecting light and it will hit his chin. Well, he doesn't really have a chin, but that underside of his face. And let's also add a little bit of a highlight above its nose right here. Now let's move to the eyelids. We can find them all the way on top. Again, let's use alpha lock and let's pick this darker brown. I'm gonna make my brush 10% and I want to darken up these edges just a little bit. To give it a little bit of shape. That, and if we turn off drawing assist for this layer, just click the layer and go to drawing assist to turn it off. Now symmetry is turned off, so we can make that left eye a bit darker than the right one. I can use that bright brown color to lighten up this right eye a little bit. Finally, let's also add a little bit of shadow to those ears, to that pink of the ears. We'll go to that layer with the pink on it, select it, and click Alpha Lock. So whatever we paint will only show up on the pixels that are already there. And we'll use this dark pink color. And the brush is set to 20%. And we'll just go over that edge. And you can just paint outside of that shape a little bit to darken these edges. And if you don't want it to look like Tom's face is split in two, then you can just go to the wrench, then to canvas and turn off the drawing guide. And there we have our Tom Nook. Will I be seeing you on my island in Animal Crossing? Be sure to check out my Instagram stories to find my dodo code if you want to pay me a visit. If you have enjoyed this video tutorial, then be sure to check out my other You Can Draw This videos as well. Or you might like these two videos right over here. See you next time.